Muévelo.
Welcome back. This is DJ Janicita on Radio Muévelo. You're tuning into 105.5 FM Lumpen Radio. I'm here with my next guest, but before we get started, I kind of want to set the vibe and play a track from his latest EP, newest EP debut that we're about to talk about in a few minutes, so we can kind of get into the vibe of what's coming up next. Offering a lot of gritty, saturated drums, loopy, hypnotic stabs, and obviously a gnarly bass. Thank you so much for being here. I want to welcome our next guest, Vorp. He's been making a lot of waves in the underground music scene here in Chicago, and it's an honor to have him here in the studio live with me today. Let's give him a warm welcome to Vorp from Dark Heaven. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I feel so happy to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming out on a Sunday afternoon to share your project with us, and thank you for sending the tracks to us too, so that we could listen to them and be able to have you here in the show today. I love when people send tracks to me and we can collaborate and do more than just a party sometimes, because I think we need some digital exposure from time to time to really talk about the behind the scenes work of how we come to be the way we are today. So I also wanted to invite you to the show because I've played some tracks with Dark Heaven before, from one of your latest compilation albums.
Which ones did you play?
I forgot. There were so many, but I did play one of Jace Inman's tracks on the show one time.
Oh, okay,
that's on the compilation. That's like one that I remember. There's so many on there.
That's one of the most left field tracks on the whole project. So I actually did not expect you to say that. No. But yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Me too. I remember it because it's very different than everyone else's.
Yeah,
album,
absolutely.
So. Yeah, that was a really cool project, which we can talk about another time if you want to come back and mix it for the show. I think is worth listening to completely, just like we're about to do with your
It's like
EP
an hour
today.
and a half long.
Dang, we got time. This is a 2-hour show. Let's do it. So yeah, anyways, for those that don't know, Dark Heaven has been operating event series here in Chicago for quite some time now, welcoming many local talent guests, talent DJs and producers, and from other places of the world too, the country. I think you guys have brought other people around or that have been in the city to kind of share the space with you. And because it's like the leading figure in events, the leading figure in this event in Dark Heaven Collective, Vorp, has been at the forefront since the inception, and you've been playing almost every single event from what I know. So I feel like you're the perfect person to have here on the show to talk about the collective and to help us kick off, the rest of the show with the EP and what that's about. So I'm really excited to talk about that. But more than anything, I want to talk about what this like project has come to life and how you interpret this world called I Plead The Filth, right? It's got a lot of like breaky electro and acidic techno intended for like late night rave hours. Was that the intention in the beginning of your creation behind this, or is that just like kind of like what it evolved in the feedback that you got from it at the end? I don't know. That's like a random question.
For sure. These are all great questions. I mean, previously before Vorp and Dark Heaven, I was just releasing music under Prove. My real name is Prove. But coming out of COVID 2021, I met Asha, the other co-founder, and my partner. She's amazing. Shout out her, Asha.
Hey. Shout out for listening.
Yeah. And so Vorp really, came to life with the start of Dark Heaven. I played the first, the debut of Vorp as a DJ was the first event of Dark Heaven. And I'd say the idea and concept behind it is what you just described as it's really, so Prove was house, overall umbrella of house. Vorp was like, I want to go into techno under, rave territories, like faster, higher energy, kind of crazy and wild and like underground, say warehouse, just like the gritty, like the dungeon, like the dark, heavy, crazy stuff that also has like that like ethereal, atmospheric kind of like release of like euphoria. So it's like you have like the really heavy, dark, fast, techno 4 on the floor, and then all of a sudden there's like this break that's just like uplifting and sends you to like another place where it just brings you up like out of where you just were, and it's like anyways, it's kind of like wow factor.
Like an alter ego. I think that's like the coolest thing about these like DJ aliases, right? That we can transmute or whatever, like transcend that vibe that we're trying to create in the dance floor, and you found it on the dance floor.
It was definitely part of the plan and the thinking of like, how do I want to position myself as Vorp and with Dark Heaven. And I feel like it's come to life properly and in the way that I saw it in the beginning. So it's really cool to finally have this EP coming out now, more than 2 years later since Dark Heaven started, and being like, hey, I don't just DJ, I also actually make music, and my history as an artist and as a producer is in the studio making tracks, whether it was like producing R&B, hip hop, pop stuff with other singer-songwriters or rappers, and then or collaborating with other beat makers or dance track like creators.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of sums up a little bit about your background as a DJ and producer. Mm-hmm. So I would like to move on to the next question, because you kind of just answered it for me, which is perfect. So now talking about your music, not so much the events, you recently debuted your very first EP titled I Plead The Filth. And I want to know what inspired this project aside from the parties, and what can people expect to hear from it?
Well, okay, so the first track that I created on the EP is Spiritronica. Actually, it's the number 3 track. So the story behind it is Asha and I were traveling in Budapest, and I actually went to this church, this basilica by myself, and I walked in. There was like this. I thought it was a choir, but it was actually, I listened to the sample like recently. It was actually just a guy singing, playing the organ. And it was like a giant cathedral, like the acoustics in there is incredible. And I literally just very quickly was covered in these like, full body chill goosebumps. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And so I recorded a sample on my phone, and I came home and I flipped a sample from my phone,
Nice.
And now we got Spiritronica. But I guess the overall concept with that is kind of taking like the holiness of a church or like religion, of that connection to like God or higher power, and bringing that to like a dance space where people can feel like a similar connection to like a universal love, or like something greater than us as individuals, but something that like connects all the people in the room when they don't even speak the same language, and all around the world. So like I'm not religious at all, really. I mean, none of our team is.
Yeah.
But like I definitely connect to like music as like a higher power, or having the like force of the power to unite people like of all kinds. It's honestly the best religion if there is one to believe in my opinion. And also like I respect all people and all their beliefs and identities and all of that. Like whatever suits your boat, whatever makes you happy, I support you. But yeah, music is my religion.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to describe that. We can all, even though we don't speak the same language or live in the same vibrational frequencies, here we can be under one and just enjoy the moment, and maybe speak the same language with our movements,
right.
our energy and our joy in the music. So that's
there was
great.
also actually a like an underground event that I went to with a DJ that has played one of our parties. It was one of our 4th or 5th parties. Himhun. It was like a basement like underground event, and she played like everything that she played was like gospel techno with these like angelic sounding vocals under like this really gritty dark techno, and I was just like, what is this? Like every track was just on that tip, and I was like, this is so cool. Like I want to embody like some of this in myself, and also like the way that ties into Dark Heaven. I highly connect to like a spiritual kind of, like I feel like I'm at church right now, except I'm at a rave.
It's so funny that you mentioned like all these like angelic feelings, right? With the music that you're producing, because it doesn't make sense. Like you're going from happy to dark, right? From like the image standpoint.
I mean, it's a
even
balance,
the sounds, the bass, like the elements that you're incorporating sometimes are a little like gritty and like out of the box. But it's cool also that you were able to find these sounds along the way from like during that creation process, because it happens all the time. It's like you have one idea and then you start attracting more concepts and ideas, and then you get to create that sound that you're that you maybe didn't even think that was gonna
I mean a lot of the production in the EP is totally experimental. Like it's not really planned. I might have like a vague idea of like what kind of vibe I want to make, and maybe I have the intention of like I need to make another track for this EP to be complete, and maybe it's missing like a slower chill vibe, which is now the intro track.
That happens all the time.
And so the intro track is like the last one that I made, and from the feedback that I've gotten so far, it seems like it's really hitting like the most people, which is interesting because it's
this is considered the intro
no
track,
this
right?
this is not
just one thing.
This is the first one. This is actually
what inspired it.
This is my favorite track off the EP for sure, because I feel like it really takes you on a journey, and it has like a lot of different sections of it. But this one that's currently playing is like the journey section, where like it's so fun to play live too, because people you can just tell like, and I'm not saying that like people go crazy, but
I'm trying to not go crazy right now. I want to turn it up.
People dance, and it's beautiful to watch. It's the best feeling in the world. I mean, sometimes I play my tracks and I'm like, I'm not sure if people are feeling this right now. And then I'm like, all right, maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe the track is kind of whatever. But there's other times that I play my stuff at like the peak of my set, and it's like the perfect time of the night, and I'm like, wow, like this is amazing. Like I made this music at my more or less bedroom at home, and now there's like hundreds of people connecting with it and losing their minds.
I love that for you. Well,
Thank you.
Let's keep listening to this track. We'll be right back. This is Radio Muévelo. So this was like the second half of Spiritronica. If you want to listen to this, you can definitely find this on Bandcamp and other streaming services so you can hear it fully. I'm already lit. Yep.
Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud,
everywhere.
All of the streaming platforms that you can think of. It's available.
I love that. So moving on, this EP, well, like each track on this EP seems to, like you said, take you on this unique journey. And could you give us an insight into like the creative process behind some of your favorite songs on the album? Not talking about the one that we just talked about, but was there anything in the studio, anything unique about this creation process that you want people to know or to appreciate? Because sometimes people don't know what's going on. They just hear the ending piece and they're like, oh, they must have, this must have been easy for them.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I'd say, I can say like what I use to make it, and that's really easy. I use Ableton, and then I have an OP1, and I have a Prophet Rev 2 synthesizer, so I definitely pull a lot of sounds, synths and like the weird, quirky, like non-percussive sounds. I pull from, the OP1 and the Prophet Rev 2. All the drums for the most part are in the box, like honestly, like stock sounds. I definitely pull samples from jungle drum and bass pack that's available for free online.
That's what they're for.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's like a classic. Like I think it's like 89, 90, like jungle. You could literally Google it, and it's the first thing comes up. It's free. Like I've told so many people about it. So
love that.
Okay. Anyways, I think what's more important than like the gear used to make the music is really the intention and mindset behind the creative process, or like within the creative process. And for me, I mean, I'd say most interestingly from the 4 tracks is the I Plead The Filth one, which is the first one that was played. Yeah. But that one was like, I wasn't really sure what I was trying to make, but I knew that I wanted it to be really gritty and weird, and like the bass to just be like this heavy, like distorted kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I just wanted it to feel like we're in a dirty, dark, wet dungeon, and it's like
a dark room.
Yeah, like it's just fast and crazy, and there's the walls are like falling apart, like it's just run down, like
a crazy
apocalyptic or something. So yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of the process making that one, I wasn't even sure where it was going for a while. I wasn't even very confident about it, but I kept coming back to it and being like, okay, I feel like I got something here, but I need to honestly, like some of the last week or so that I was working on it and I was mastering it, I was like, it's missing like a proper hi-hat sound. So I literally like added like some really, really important elements. Like there were hi-hats in it already, but I added something else that also like made it more cohesive with the other tracks on the project. And some of the changes I made within the last week to the EP were just like, wow, I don't even know how I even plan to release this without some of these changes that were so crucial and like critical to the the final product. So it's interesting.
It's good to go back to it after a while, because you in the end you want it to kind of sound cohesive to tell the story. Right. So,
but you also want it to sound proper. Like I want people to play this out. I want it to sound good, anywhere that it's played. So if I'm, mixing my tracks with other music that, the music that I play in my DJ sets is like stuff, it's all like bangers, like stuff that I love. So I'm comparing my music to like really advanced producers who, and I find their music, I'm like, okay, I need this. Like I'm playing this tonight. So I'm comparing my music to like the best music out there that I can find, and I'm like, okay, there's something very obvious here missing. I need to just add it in really quick, and like I think it'll work.
I think that works. Yeah, well, let's listen to this track called Up the Wazoo that's also on the EP. I don't know what track number
this is the first one.
This is
this is like the chill one, which
Okay,
is
the
really
intro.
not that chill. I mean, it's the slowest one, but yeah,
it's already making the dance floor, you know.
the first
gather
half,
around.
the first like minute and a half or 2 minutes are like halftime, so it feels like way more chill than it is now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love it. All right,
Thanks.
let's listen to this last minute and a half of the
Oh,
track.
also,
Yeah.
I gotta shout out Asha's voice is on this track. It's the only track on the EP that has vocals, really. And yeah, she says, "Where do you want to go? I can take you where you want to go."
All right.
Yeah.
That was Up the Wazoo on the I Plead The Filth EP for Dark Haven. Please check it out. Dark Heaven, sorry, yes. I keep reading it wrong, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. And yeah. Oh yeah. And we're going to move on to the last question for today's show. What do you hope or what emotion and message do you hope to convey to your listeners through your music? Is there anything in particular that you feel or you want people to experience while listening to your work?
For sure. Well, first of all, music and all art is all subjective, and whatever I felt when I was creating it is, personal to me. So I think that my main intention and hope and goal for as far as emotion, what people feel is first of all that, you can take all that like stress and frustration and anxiety, nervousness, and like whatever anger and sadness you have like from your regular life, if you have it. I mean, everybody, we're all humans, so we all have it. And when you hear the music, it first of all acts as like a form of catharsis to like release those energies, release those feelings. And then also with that, so that's step number one. After that happens, for you to feel like uplifted, motivated, inspired, and empowered to like be better and be the best version of yourself that you can be and live your life, healthier and like, in all the better ways, that you want to. So yeah, I feel like really that's what music is all about. I mean, it's, you listen to music to feel better. So,
It's a nice balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance between reality and this like subconscious effect or mindset that you get with music, right? Like it's instilled in you like, oh, I want to be a better person, or I'm meditating through the dance floor.
For me, it's really therapeutic, really. I mean, it's my ultimate form of therapy for sure. So, I hope that other people can feel that too. And I feel like that's half the reason that we all go to events and go, like to dance and, see DJ, go to DJ, support our DJ friends and our, artists that we love and the bands that we love, and
even artists that we don't know,
Well, yeah.
Just go see what's up. Be part of the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fun to feel good.
Exactly. That too. You'll always find something to feel good when you're there.
Yeah.
I think that's part of letting go of that like social anxiety that a lot of people have built post-pandemic, right? It's like, oh, I don't know if I should go out.
I mean, I had a ton of it during COVID. I was so isolated. It was horrible. So.
Yeah. It was an isolating time, but we're back. We're out here. We're making music, and thank you so much for coming to the show today. You guys were just listening to Vorp from Dark Heaven, and if you haven't checked out his EP, it's available on Bandcamp and on all streaming services. And yeah, we're just really honored to have you here on Radio Muévelo. This is such a cool experience to be able to share an EP and to talk about the behind the scenes process. And we wish you the best on your music journey, as well as all of your projects with Dark Heaven. And yeah, just to wrap up this interview, could you tell us what's your favorite part about being a part of Dark Heaven, and where can we find you if we want to kick it with you?
Yeah, for sure. First, I'm going to answer that backwards. You can find me personally on Instagram. It's just my @ is VVVORPPP. Dark Heaven is Dark Heaven Co. I'd say the best part my favorite part about being, having Dark Heaven is really just doing what I love. I mean, it's always been my dream to like curate events and also have a label, which is it's all like coming alive now, but yeah, it's fun to like organize events and to curate like, my favorite DJs and the artists that I don't even know. So I often am asking people like, yo, like who's like a great like hardware live performance artist, like I'm looking for this kind of vibe. And yeah, just the discovery process of our, Chicago culture and community. There's so much. I've learned so much today, even like about some Chicago labels with amazing releases. And I'm like, how did I not know about this? Like, It's really, Chicago's a big city, obviously, but also the music industry can feel really small. The community can feel small. Everybody knows everybody. But there's constantly just more and more. And I'm like, wait, like the city's actually way bigger than it is in my head. And It's really, I love that. So yeah, I love that Dark Heaven has connected me to so many awesome people in the community, and I feel like I'm a part of like Chicago culture now. It's honestly such a special feeling, and I'm very honored and grateful for all the support from all the dancers, all the other organizers, and Lumpen Radio. Shouts to Lumpen Radio and Radio Muévelo, yes, and bilingual, also Genesita, your music is awesome. I listened to it on the way here, and I had no idea that you made bangers.
Thank you.
I am stoked to listen to those again and to also play them in my sets, most likely.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much. And we're always here to collaborate, so we'd love to have you back. And that pretty much wraps up the hour for us here. And we want to thank all the listeners for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next month. Thank you for listening to Radio Muévelo.